Hey dreamers, Bryce here from Metallica. Hey dreamers, Bryce here from Midnight Notion, singer, songwriter, musician, big fan of Metallica, and I have no idea what my favorite song is. Could it be Fixxxer with 3 X's? Let's use math to find out. Cue the intro.
So give it to me now!
For the best Metallica song! Fixxxer with 3 X's, the last track on Reload. Say goodbye to this ugly backdrop. We are done with the Reload record after this song. And you know what? I have a fairly positive memory of the song. I don't listen to it that often, but I have a pretty positive memory of it. So let's go over it together. You and me will listen to it as buddy old pals. I'll stop it anytime I hear something interesting. I'll overanalyze it because that's what I do. Fair warning, my videos are long. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure you smash that subscribe button because I love having you here. I think you're an amazing person. Oh my, I'm getting out of order. We're going to listen to the song and then I'm going to grade it using the following criteria: composition, memorability, emotional response, instrumentation, and lyrics. Each category is a scale of 0 to 4 with a grand total of 20 possible points. We'll find out at the end if this has enough to get to the top 20, which is actually a top 19. And for anybody still curious, when I say positive score and I give it a 3, and I say negative score, I give it a 1. It's not a -1, it's just that 2 is my baseline. I don't know how I feel. 3 is positive, 1 is negative, I don't really like this, and 0 is absolutely bad, and 4 is the best. That's how it works. Let's get into the song. Fixxxer with 3 X's. Here we go. Slow fade in. Interesting. So we have the, just the regular, the main guitar is like a harmonized bend sort of thing. And then a delay. But there's a backing sound. I think it's a looping, I don't know if it's a loop pedal or what's going on, but there's this be-doo-doo-doo, be-doo-doo-doo, be-doo. Listen really close. It almost has this effect of like flies? Question mark? I don't know. It feels like there's like a low end. It's really subtle, very quiet in the mix, but it's interesting to me. If you just had the, it'd be a cool enough intro. But I think that having this sound kind of layered real low in the background fills out the picture more, right? It's painting something interesting. Bass and bass drum. Sounds like a cry. Lars emphasizing the 1 very often. I don't know. It's cool. I like this groove. It's slow. It's got a real like trudgy kind of dirge to it, like just like pulling out of the mud. But if you look at the lyrics, there's a lot of stuff about voodoo dolls and stuff. So I think you could imagine yourself like walking through a dark forest, right? Or some sort of like evil like layer kind of scenario where it's like it's like a bat flying by or something. Oh, what's out there? I don't know. It's scary. Ooh. Harmonized guitar. There's the vocal trick I was talking about with, I think it was on Low Man's Lyric. Pins. It's not just pins. It's P-A-A-A. He's like playing with the vocal, the vowels sound. Pins. Really good singing on James's part throughout this whole record and the last one. But here we got a nice, like, slow. Notice how, like, the guitars are do 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 do. They're kind of moving at this syncopated rhythm, but the vocals are just do 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 do. Right, it's very long notes on the vocals. There's space for that, right? When you're writing songs, make sure that you're trying to give, you're not taking up too much real estate. I call it real estate. Each measure is 4 beats long. You got 4 beats. If the kick is on the 1 and the 2, and the 3 and the 4, sorry, the kick is 1 and 3, snare is 2 and 4. However, in this song, I guess it's halftime, so it's kick on the 1, snare on the 3, whatever. Okay, and then you got hi-hats going on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's all for the drums. It's taking up all that room. If you just, if you have all the guitars doing with the hi-hats, it's going to be hard to mix because everything is playing at the same time. So the guitars are playing a little bit different riff, a different pattern on top of a straight feeling drums. And so there's room for those, but it's still very, like, there's a lot of notes yet. So then the vocals, if the vocals followed what the guitar would do, it'd be hard to mix again because everything's right on top of one another. You're creating a nice little sandwich. You want some bread, some meat, some cheese, some toppings on it, right? So you can't just fill it all with bread. You could do that, but you can't get real large because bread makes you fat. That's what I heard. So it's nice to hear the vocals taking their time, kind of swinging a little bit. So we've got, again, the ride cymbal coming back for a little cameo. We haven't heard the ride cymbal in a little while. We've got one guitar doing kind of, I think he's doing a wah, but it's a clean guitar and just arpeggiating do, do, do. I don't know if those are the notes, but just a little do, do, do. On left side, or sorry, the right side speaker, so that'd be Kirk. And James is doing a little bit more riffy stuff. Really interesting. Okay, we're talking about catchphrase, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, right at the end of the chorus here. Jab another pin in me. Listen to the music. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. That's going to come back throughout the song. I like it. Appreciate the drum beat right here. This section has a boom, 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 ka, boom, boom, ka, boom, ka. It's really, it's different, right? It's not just a straight boom, 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 ka, boom, boom, ka, boom, boom, ka. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you count it, 4 beats, 2 measures. The first measure, the snare hits on the 3. The second measure, the snare hits on the 1, 2, and 4. So it's kind of inverting it, I guess. He's doing boom, 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 ka, And then he's going da da boom ka. So it's kind of inverted a little bit. Really interesting pattern, switching it up a little bit. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, Lars. Thanks for being you and always trying something new. Good job.
We're just the toys in my hands of another. Anytime the new sun comes shine to us. But tell me, can you
Really liked that rise. Let's listen to that again, real quick here. Go back.
We're just the toys in my hands of another. Anytime the new sun comes shine to us.
So he had one voice, and one was kind of going down, and one was going, yeah, yeah. They're kind of both going in different directions. Really creative line there. I like it.
Tell me, can you heal what Father's done? Fix this hole in a mother's son. Can you heal the broken holes within? Can you strip away so we may stop again? Tell me, can you heal what Father's done? Cut this rope and let us run. Just when all seems fine and I'm pain free. Jab another pin, jab another pin in me. Yeah, jab it.
Okay, now we have a switch up. I don't know if this is the 2. It sounds like it could be the 4. I'm not for sure. I'm not going to get out the guitar this time. But I appreciate that. We come out of the chorus. Where do you go after the second chorus? That's the question on everybody's mind. I've done 2 choruses. Now what? Well, you could go do a solo. You could do a bridge, whatever. It's nice to hear just a bah, just holding out the note and just let the drums boom, ka, boom. Jab at, and then we have kind of it's a new riff, doo doo, but it's kind of referencing the intro or the beginning of the like the main riff, the thing that plays while you hear that, but it's kind of a dumbed down version of it. It's like if you take that main riff and you bring it down to just a couple of chords, and then you cut off the second half of it as boo doo. Like at the very, very beginning. So really, really cool way to go into this. And then we have that same catchphrase I was telling you to watch for. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Right? And then now we're up to a different chord. This is nice. What I appreciate about this solo is that there's nothing happening. It's just there's no movement to it. And so this is almost a solo for the rhythm guitar, because it's just doing its riffy stuff. The drums and bass are still just grooving along, and the guitar's just like, watch me play 2 notes. It's like one of those little stick things. There you go. So that transition has always bothered me just a little bit. I feel like we didn't quite earn this one. I like the stops. But then there's this weird, like, I expected, you saw me air drum, I expected another one, but it just stops. That climb didn't feel quite earned to me. Now we're in a different part of the chord or part of the scale again, but that felt off. I didn't like that transition. Hyprex, that's for you. Triple it, triple it, triple it. Here we go. Go back to that. Emphasized by the guitar, even. Ooh. Got a little outlaw horn in this one. The intro again. Okay, so I want to talk about this because now James is playing the intro again. It's got the same guitar tone, it's same like kind of level. It feels like the intro. The difference here is we don't have the echoing, and in the intro it was just boom, boom, just steady kick drum. Now we got a beat. So we're calling back to the intro, but it's still different. Storytelling. I'm telling you, compositional storytelling is important. Nice work. Calm down, Lars. You know, I think everybody's got a wah on at this point. It sounds like the bass might be doing a wah as well. James has got his wah-na, 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 wah-na. But then we hear Kirk doing sort of a scratch on the guitar, not really playing notes, but just... But then I can't really tell what Jason has been doing. It sounded like he was just... But it sounds like he might be doing wah as well. Maybe not. We have a weird effect on the vocals. It sounds almost like you're underwater. It's a plugin. Oh, we just talked about this the other day. I feel like there was something similar to it, and I've already forgotten what it's called because I'm having a week. So we're just going to say it's an interesting effect on the vocals that sounds like you're underwater. To be clear, I do have an audio production degree, but I don't work in a fancy studio. I've just got a little home studio stuff. So a lot of this stuff has kind of passed in my knowledge. I'm not 1,000% up to date. I don't know all the gear stuff. I'm more of an editor. I can edit your audio and design your audio all day long, but when it comes to actual mixing terminology, I do fail from time to time. I apologize. Don't get too angry in the comments. I love you. You're awesome. That was a really good transition. I want you to hear that one more time. That pause. In the pause, his voice was still that weird watery effect. But then in the chorus, it doesn't have that anymore. And it like it slowly changed from one to the other. Listen. I think the change was on So Tell Me. You could hear it. Life again. Stop. So tell me. But it's so close. It wasn't like a hard. It didn't feel like a cut, like an edit, right? It didn't. It like smoothly transitioned between the two. And I think that's really well done. that, okay, it's mostly the chorus riff again on the guitars, but pay attention to what the drums are doing here. It's straight beat on the hi-hats. Cha, boom, cha, boom, cha, boom, cha, for like 3 times through. And on the 4th time, it's on the cymbal. And the cymbal is accenting the catchphrase. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to rewind it just slightly here so you can hear that.
No more pretend me. No more pretend me. No more pretend me.
Then it's going to be the fill.
No more.
Interesting. All right, cool. So we've got the pattern, right? We played the riff 4 times through. In each time, there are 4 bars. In each of the 4 bars, we have 3 straight on the hi-hat and 1 with the crash cymbal. That repeats 1, 2, 3 times. The 4th time, we've got the straight beat again for 3 bars, and then the fill instead of the cymbal, right? We're alluding to it, ba-da, 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 with the cymbal, but now it's cha-ta-do-do-do-do-do-do. But then they double it. They double it on the end to add even more interest. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, and then we get one more little minor riff, ba-bow. Really cool end to the song. I think that there was some middle section that was maybe not so much, but overall there's a lot of good stuff to celebrate. So let's give this sucker some points. Here we go. Whoosh. Composition. Now I came into this expecting to give it a pretty good compositional score. We do have verse, chorus, bridge, chorus again, unfortunately, but there is a lot of stuff to celebrate. That background noise in the intro, the whine is really cool. The build in the drums, how we go from the kick drum earlier to when we come back to the riff, it's got a full beat. We've got a lot of things like that catchphrase. I keep calling them catchphrases. That's not really what they're called in music, but that little tag, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, really cool. I also really appreciate the change in the chord, how we're not just stuck on the 1 for the whole song. We do move up and down, especially during the solo section. We got a nice little harmonized solo like they used to do. It's not really a harmonized solo, but it's a very simple little piece. The thing that brings this down for me is that there's a whole section in there, kind of the solo section, that has an unearned transition. It feels a little sloppy. It doesn't really feel like it goes anywhere. And it comes back and it feels a little bit like Outlaw Torn, which I like, but I feel like I'd almost rather skip the entire solo section and go straight from the second chorus, where it stops and it's just like, well, it doesn't stop, but it hits that note, it lets it ring, and the drums are just playing the groove, to just go from there to the Outlaw Torn bit where it slowly builds back in. I think that's how I would prefer it to be, because that whole solo section just kind of felt a little off to me. There were some great parts, but overall just I like how the song ends though, and that's pretty cool. But overall, that mess section brings it down a few points. So compositionally, for me, that's a 2. Memorability. This one's hard to talk about for memorability because they're doing the things I like. They're repeating riffs over and over in a way that's memorable, that is memorable on its own. Like I can just hear that echoing, like I feel like I want to use that intro for a scene. I want to make a movie where someone's wandering into like a witch's hut and you hear that in the background. Or maybe I've been watching The Mandalorian recently, and he's got a little bit of a guitar sting that kind of reminds me of this. I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of a cool effect for something that's like looming and scary, like some evil overhead. That's a really cool effect. But as far as memorability, I don't think there's a lot of, there's not a real catchy hook. Like Jab Another Pin in Me is a cool line, and we'll talk about that in the lyrics section. But from a memorability standpoint, it doesn't stand out enough in the song. It's not highlighted enough to really be memorable. All they really have is that intro. So unfortunately for me, memorability, it's right in the middle with a 2. Emotional response. I know I came into this song saying I have a generally positive feel for it, but I have to admit that middle section really brought it down for me. I love almost all of this whole song. There's a lot of really great, wonderful things happening. But yeah, that transition just kind of broke me, and I found myself going, oh, okay, maybe this is a little long. It doesn't really need to be this long. It feels kind of padded for time. It's like when a game makes you walk to the next place, and it's just really, really far away. Looking at you, Ocarina of Time, hop, 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 hop. But it's fine, but it needs just a little bit more to keep me invested. So emotional response, keeping it right in the middle with a 2. Instrumentation, a lot of great stuff happening here. I love everything. The guitars are doing some cool work. I really, really love that screech in the intro. There's something about it. It just feels cool. There's some really neat effects. We got clean guitar in the chorus with a distortion guitar. How does that happen? How are you able to hear both of them at the same time? Composition, that's how. But either way, it's a really interesting song. A lot of stuff to celebrate, but nothing really stands out as the most amazing thing they've ever done. But overall, positive work. Good job, guys. Instrumentally, it's a 3. Lyrics. Once again, we have a really, really well-written song. I appreciate the lyrical styles of Sir Hetfield because, even when the songs seem to fall, when the songs don't seem to really catch the same way they should or the way that they have been up until this point, the lyrics are really potent, and I really like what this one is saying. The perspective of the song is someone saying you. So, I believe that you, whoever you is, I like to read these lyrics as a higher power. Or so he mentions faith, to renew our faith, to fall in love with life again. This is someone who, again, we've talked about this before, way back on multiple songs before. Mama Said. We have someone who is grieving the death of his mother while he was still pretty young. We have his father who ran away from home, who, abandoned the family. So can you heal what father's done? Can you fix this hole in a mother's son? Right? This is James saying, I've got this emptiness in me, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I see a broken person on the other side. I'm trying to heal it with shotgun shells and a XXX marked barrel, right? It says XXX on the stone, pouring one out for his mother. There's a lot of really potent stuff. We hear stuff about sin all throughout this record, but this song sounds a lot like he's looking up to the sky and going, why is this so difficult? Why can't I just enjoy my life? Why am I still bothered by the hole left by my mother, by my father's pain, and why all these pins coming in like a voodoo doll? Every new thing in life is coming at me and destroying my being, and everything I try to do to fix it, to get some levity, it just is another pin and another pin, and it's like a curses you, Batman, why? So I think that's a really interesting approach. And what's more interesting about it is it's not literally saying, hey, you, God, hey, you, Vishnu, hey, you, I don't know what Lord you would be praying to. Great Cthulhu, please save me. But it's not specifically saying that. So it could be placing the blame on anyone. Hey, you let me into your house, right? The low man was down. You let this poor dog in from the rain, and now it's your fault. You can't heal me, right? The Metallica Song-O-Matic universe again. I'm really intrigued by these lyrics. I think they're potent. I think they're well crafted. I like what they're saying. I feel bad for the man. It is a very strong, it feels like a lot of emotion went into these lyrics. So well done, well put. All happy from me. Here's another 4 from me. And so Fixxxer with 3 X's gets a grand total of 13 points. It's not enough for the top 20, but it's not at the bottom. I mean, it's kind of in the middle area. It's right above Mama Said. Gonna get hate for that, but it's below the thing that should not be. So right now sitting in 48th out of 74. So pretty decent score. It's fine. It's fine. But let's look at that top 20 one more time. Because really, be honest. Do you think Fixxxer with the song that they've never played live should fit on this top 20? Do you think that that's really something that should go here? It's a great song, but honestly, look at this list. I don't see a place for it here, and the math doesn't either. So now it's your turn, using my methods. Write in the comments below what score you would give this song. Also in the comments below, tell me what you want for Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, and if you celebrate, I want to know what you're looking forward to. I'm just curious. If you're watching this on a different day, then merry other day, merry different holiday. Happy Cthulhu to you all. Cthulhu Fatagan. And of course, make sure you check out my music. Midnight Ocean is available all over the internet. I would appreciate the Spotify streams. Add me to your playlist. And of course, smash that subscribe button, because tomorrow we're saying goodbye to this background and we're going to listen to a symphony orchestra. And how many leaves do you think the clover's going to have? We'll find out tomorrow. See you then. Happy day. Thanks for watching.